did this fancy, I made a new countdown, and I didn't hit live, so you didn't even see the countdown. What the heck? Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, X-Runner. Good morning, JBB. Good to see you. I was out to tell you I'm a little bit under the weather today. Thankfully, not too congested, but feeling a little bit down. My throat's a little sore. So, apologies if my voice is bad. Yes, there will be journalist tears, and I love it. I absolutely love it today. We'll be covering that. We'll be covering quite a few fun news stories. And you've got journalists laid off, people laid off, game companies, delays, price increases. We got a lot of good stuff. But let's start off here with the topic of today, which why I labeled it Can't Go Back. This was an interesting article that I read. It's a little bit older. It's from April 21st. But I read it and I wanted to talk about it. I just didn't have time to fit it in last week. It's also going to tie into the sort of game of the week, which, damn it, I did not prepare the video for. Let me get, let me do that right now. I slept in, because like I said, I was sick. I slept in a lot, so I didn't have as much prep time as before. Just, feeling down. One of those days you're just like, ugh. What I have been doing, and I think this is a little bit scary, is that I've been watching a lot of StarCraft, Brood War videos, and StarCraft 2 videos, match videos, and I'm a little worried that I'm going to be sucked into that world of StarCraft. I don't know if I want to go to playing RTS again. I've really enjoyed playing Dawn of War back in the day. Winter Assault and Soulstorm was the primary things I played, but really, it is pretty cool to watch some of the matches. It's pretty fun, and I'm actually surprised how quickly they go. Most of them rarely last over half an hour, which is nice. I could get into something that only takes 20 to 30 minute increments. I like that. Same thing like arcade games that I really like is those 20 to 30 minute increments. It's just a nice unit of time. Just something that's quick, intense. You get your fix, and it's not like, all right, we'll talk about Okami today. It's not like you could spend an hour just looking for certain trees to turn into make bloom for a guy, to unlock something. It's those kind of games are annoying. Dawn of War 40K to work on Windows. That is I kind of wish they do a remaster, because so much of that shit doesn't work well on modern hardware. And maybe that's something that good old games. I didn't prepare anything. Maybe I'll do that next week with good old games. There was a really interesting interview. I think it was Retro, or let me see let me get the name of the guys. Sorry, the visuals aren't super impressive, but I do want to mention it. It was this. Man, your subscription screen is the worst thing ever. Have you noticed that in YouTube? They always want to push you with the algorithm. Meanwhile, if you want to find one of your things that you subscribe to, good luck. Which is weird, because on mobile, it's fine. Which maybe I'll, instead of looking on my computer, I'll look on my mobile. It does it a lot better, but I don't know why. Let's see. Subs. What is this guy's name? Here it is. Resonant Arc is the name of it. And they had this interesting interview. I think I mentioned it on Twitter. Now that I think about it, I could have just done that. All right, we're going on a tangents here. Here we go. This is called Resonant Arc. They got a decent amount of subscribers, but they had this
The more you think
interview
about it, even
on
just sitting here in the conversation
with Good Old Games. I'll probably talk about a little that next week because I don't really have a huge amount of time. But they're talking to the guys on GOG and this list that they have for like game preservation, and that's what they've been doing is they've been trying to get stuff, make sure like stuff will work with modern day Windows. Because some stuff, like I said, Dawn of War 40K, like you alt tab and the game wants to like kill itself. At this point, I'm like, ugh. It's just a pain in the ass, and I really do like the game. I just kind of wish they'd Relic would go ahead and remaster it, or whoever owns Relic, or if Relic even exists at this point. Whoever owns it would do like a remaster of it. They don't need to try to improve it at all. They just need to remaster and get all the shit to work properly on modern hardware. Maybe increase the resolution. They don't need to do much because I think the game's perfect just the way it is. If they could do that, that would be great. I would really appreciate it. But enough tangents. Let's get into it. So this was an interesting article that I found. I read it and I thought it was pretty interesting. And this is by Marcus Stewart over on Game Informer. That's a old name that you thought was dead. Apparently they have a little like tagline, "We're back. We hope you'll join us." We're coming back, not as a magazine, but as a website. We'll see. Sick of Windows. You could rant for days on the problems. Yeah, exactly. At long last, it seems we're finally getting the big remaster of Elder Scrolls Oblivion. And that's just a bee's knees. I love Oblivion. So why don't I feel very excited? Oblivion floored me when I played it on the PlayStation 3 in 2007. It was my first exposure, not only to the series, but also to the open-world Western RPGs. Level of freedom astounded me from the moment the Emperor Patrick Stewart freed me from the prison, and the Jurassic Park-like reveal of Sindril. It's probably Siodril. Who knows? That followed. I found out I could kill a dude and be invited to join a cool club with totally normal cloaked Samaritans with good intentions. You're saying I can climb, read awkwardly slip upwards a mountain in the distance? I'm sold. It was the first time since Grand Theft Auto 3 that I felt I had limitless opportunities in a video game. The freedom was so intoxicating that I tolerated the game's horrendous menu and inventory system, constantly having to jump to accelerate my strange passive stat limiting system. I enjoyed that, by the way. When I played Morrowind a little bit, just like constantly doing stupid stuff to level up. I don't know, that just gets me going. But it probably isn't a good mechanic, to be honest. The litany of mechanically awkward interactions that have since aged into a blend of peak comedy and modern art. With those war memories at the forefront, I pored over the leaked screenshots of remasters and found myself simply thinking neat. Immediate reaction has little to do with the alleged facelift potentially sapping the original work of its whimsical glow. Yeah, this is called Unreal 5 Engine, making everything look the goddamn same. Slowly but surely, I realized a remaster couldn't capture the core of why Oblivion made such a mark in my life. It gave me something I never experienced at the time, and that has very much changed. In a whopping 18 years since I finished Oblivion, so it's been a while. I've experienced the same freedoms offered many times over in other games, and done better than that. Witcher 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, Oblivion's own sequel Skyrim, have all outclassed the RPG in one aspect or another, whether it's boasting bigger worlds, better quests, superior combat, strong storytelling. No NPC has stopped Oblivion's annoying fan, however, including Bethesda itself, at least tried Starfield. So I'm more likely to take my near 2-decade memory of the game by unfairly compare it to what came after. Would I be coming to this remaster for? And I think this is a point that I wanted to mention, and this is that, especially when you look at open world RPGs, it's been done so much. Like when Oblivion came out, when stuff like, and they just announced, spoiler alert, that Grand Theft Auto has been delayed. That, when GTA 3 first came out, or like even like back in Vice City, or Oblivion, or like a lot of these open world stuff, like that was novel at the time. And that was a lot of the enjoyment of like, whoa, you'd never seen stuff this big. You never, experience these massive worlds that take forever to explore every nook and cranny. That was something that was kind of cool because you never did it before. But as I mentioned, 18 years this has been out. 18 years open world RPGs have been a big thing. Like at this point, I'm just sick of open world RPGs. I don't need to explore forever. I don't need a 60-hour game. I mean, for people that really enjoy it and want to get into it, it's fine. I'm sick of it. Just like, ugh. Why do I need to explore, spend like 15 minutes traveling in a game? I mean, you could say like for a game like Minecraft, exploring can be fun. Like you're trying to find something and you're searching for something random that could be out there. The world's just sort of the world. It's a sandbox for you to play in. I don't know if modern open world RPGs just feel like it's go from one point to the other. You have a little dot on your map that, or even worse, it's like on the hood while you're playing the game. Like go here, so you just go from one point to the next, like it's a tourist attraction. Hey, what's up, Susanna? A la Richard. Good to see you. So Oblivion was a great game. What I want to experience again, most of all, is the intangible excitement that came from it being a novelty. And novelty is a huge part of, I think, why it's really hard to enjoy games anymore. I mean, novelty, and the thing is, it's not necessarily quality, too, which I think sometimes, game discussions, it's hard to separate that. You have the nostalgia when you're playing stuff again, and that's pretty powerful. But I don't think it's anywhere near as powerful as novelty. But playing it for the first time and really enjoying it isn't necessarily it being really good, well designed. It can be. It can be part of it that you enjoy it because it's something that's quality. But at the same time, the fact that you're doing it for the first time, you never experienced something like that. It's unique and novel. That does a lot to like improve your mood when you're watching it or when you're experiencing it. That's unfortunately one of the inevitable. This is one of the unfortunate but inevitable drawbacks of any remastered or remake, for that matter. Sure, Oblivion will look much nicer. It'll check out a number of nostalgia and media obligated science, but I really be chasing a high that is simply unobtainable. It gives you a true freedom to be unique. They want freedom to roam, but with a shortcut. It doesn't work. Oblivion's greater than Skyrim. I've never played Oblivion. I've played Skyrim, played a little bit of Morrowind. So like I did that stuff where like I'm just jumping while I run, and part of me enjoyed that, but I never played Oblivion. Makes sense. This is someone that buys 1 or 2 games a year. Go through too many games to have an opinion on that. I don't have time for most open world games. Yeah, exactly. It is a huge commitment, and that's why I don't play RPGs anymore either. Like people are like, oh, do you see the new Final Fantasy? Like if it's not 20 hours, like if I can't beat the game in 20 hours, if I'm playing a game not for sort of like repetitive, like mastering the gameplay, for like an RPG, I just don't want to. I don't know if there really is a lot of gameplay to master. It's not like super skill based. It's more sort of strategic, decision making, like a leveling up type of thing. I don't want to play that game like that for more than 20 hours. Like what I'm having an issue with Okami. It could also be that Bethesda RPGs have been losing their usual iron grip on me since Fallout 4. The novelty of freedom that their adventures once monopolized has now been plundered by other games. And like I said, open world RPGs have just been done to death at this point. It's like, why? And I'm even thinking like GTA 6, I was thinking this morning. It got delayed, but is it really going to be any good? Like, that's the disappointing thing. Like, it's been delayed to 2026 to skip ahead, but what are you going to get? Are you going to get a slightly bigger world, slightly better graphics? Like, what's going to be novel about GTA 6? And if anything, the sort of irreverent humor is going to be toned down because it's, 2025 and we still have a bunch of less gay shit all over the place where it's like, oh, we can't make fun of trans people. We got to tone down the jokes made at trans people expense and minorities expense. Like, it'll just be like, oh, we could make fun of white people and make fun of Jewish people. I don't know. So it's like, all right, we'll have less humor. So that part's going to be worse. Slightly bigger world. Maybe a little bit of maybe better graphics, that stuff like that. It might be decent writing because they're usually pretty good. But you're just going to get like toned down Grand Theft Auto is what it's going to end up being with a bigger world so you can get more driving. It's just like, what's exciting? What's really going to excite you about that? If you really love GTA, if you really enjoy that sort of open world type of gameplay, then, it's great for you. But for me, I'm just like, I haven't played GTA 5. It just doesn't appeal to me. And I just don't see how Grand Theft Auto gets better at this point. It's probably going to be the TikTok GTA. I've seen a lot of seeds are based off TikTok. I don't know how that's going to work, but it's like the novelty just out there. That's one of the issues with games is the novelty. I don't think nostalgia is strong enough. But beyond this, and this is something that kind of relates to Okami, and he just mentions, that it's healthy to recalibrate expectations for remastered, and that's okay. But I think the other factor in it that I think is also interesting, this is why I wanted to bring it into Okami this week, is that I don't know if you could really, when you're an adult, you can really play the same way you did as a kid. Now, Okami is a game that I feel like I would have enjoyed if I played it when it was released on, I forget what it was released on, GameCube or something like that. But it's a game that I honestly have not, I'm really torn on because I don't like a lot of it. I like some of it, but there's a lot of it that I find just boring. It takes a lot of time. You can even see in this sequence where you walk into the room and then my time's already being wasted. Like, here, let me pan over to this place that you need to go. Like, here you go, guy. Go here. Why, thank you. I'm glad you took it. This taking me like 10 seconds. I already knew, the second I saw these stupid things, I knew I had to use some sort of wind power. And then here it is. Here's my wind power. And then, it didn't work, so I need to go into another sequence of this Izun guy telling me that, helping me, give me the solution. Thank you. So this is like baby's first Zelda game. It really is incredibly simple. I'm surprised for Capcom. They usually tend to make games that are more challenging, but this was just super hand-holdy. It's just super easy. And I feel like, a game like this, I like the graphics. I like the presentation. Let me turn this down a little bit. I like a lot of that. And, if I could just kind of get in the right... Part of me wonders if I could just sort of get in the right mindset where I don't have to worry about, beating the game or how much time it's taking me to beat. Because, for Okami, this game, I was just trying to sort of experience the game, see how it is. And now that I'm 20 hours into it, I want to beat it and see how it ends. But at the same time, you have so much of the gameplay isn't combat related. And the brush stuff is fun enough, but you can already see that you have to use it so much in these parts. So I'm here. I gotta use a brush to get up. Gotta use a brush to clear the fire off of this thing. Now I gotta brush again. Just constantly opening a menu and then drawing. And then it's like, whoa, hey, check out this massive... And this has to be at least 8 hours in the game. This isn't a tutorial level. This is not a tutorial level at all. So, here's Izun telling me the obvious that if I use wind power on it, I can make it blow. And then that's how I get across. Wow, I never would have guessed it. They have the wind god's picture on the damn thing. And this is just the sort of ridiculous hand-holding. Of course, I screw up drawing here because it just... The drawing with a stick just isn't that fun. I tried drawing with a mouse. It's also not that fun. I almost feel like it was a game like a 3DS where you could really like draw with your hand. That mechanic would be a lot, like tactilely, it would be a lot more enjoyable. But it's not a... I also don't like 2D... I really don't like 2D platform... Or, platforming in 3D games could be a bit of a pain in the ass. Now you look at this game, it's like... I'm jumping here, and I usually use the shadows of the character to tell where you're at, but like... There's like no... the shadow disappears, so I have no idea where I'm at. I don't even think the shadow is super accurate where, where Okami actually is. So, like, platforming like this just becomes a really annoying... There's just a lot of aspects of this game I do not like. I don't like the platforming. The brush parts are just overdone. And then he's just... See how awkward that is when you're trying to platform with it? I'm just essentially just guessing and going for it. And this is... And notice how there isn't a single combat, a single enemy. It's literally just me walking around. Hey, Susano. Oh wait, I can't. Thank you very much for the 333. Really appreciate that, man. Thanks for giving me something to wake up to. Thank you. I'm glad to do it. I'm glad to do it. Give you some entertainment. And then again, you have to draw it, and then you have to do this. This was another part that I just found awful. It just gratuitous. Obviously, I have to use wind to blow these out. Up, they go back up. I open up. Why do I have to do this 3 times? They're just making me do it 3 times in a row. It's the same solution. Just walking over. This is just wasting my time. There's nothing really engaging about it. And, maybe if you're like a 5-year-old, this is fun. Or like, younger people. The combat itself, I actually kind of enjoy. It feels good. You have like a combo system that you can use to avoid damage. Now I'm just trying to take this down. I'm pretty over-leveled for these guys. But you could also like do stuff where you kill them in flashy ways and get extra stuff out of it. I didn't do it right, but the combat system itself is kind of fun. And I feel like if the game had more combat, it'd be a lot more enjoyable. But it does not. I think should be another clip after here. On this, I'm kind of showing... In this clip, I'm trying to show off... I really like the sort of... The story itself. There's a lot of, like, humor in it. And reverence, like, clearly... That's like Izune calling her busty babe. A lot of it focuses on her breasts. And this kind of humor that you expect from Kamiya. Who even says, like, Izune's kind of based off his personality. And he's what a developer's for. Cloverleaf, he did, the original Devil May Cry. He did Beautiful Joe. Bayonetta. I've never played Prototype. You have this weird background music. So I really enjoy the humor of the game. And the story, the only thing is, like, they do, like, that weird Animal Crossing voices. And you have to skip it. You can't speed it up. So the text speed is very slow. Every scene just seems to last a little too long. I thought it was balls of the thumbnail, not gonna lie. No, it's breasts. So it just, like, everything just seems to last twice as long as it should. I do like the graphics, and this is when Izun's... Notice how you'll notice the screen is the wrong size. That's because I alt-tabbed out of it, and it reduced in size. It went out of full screen, and the only way to go back to full screen is to... You can't do it in-game. You have to, like, quit the game out and go to the main title scene, and then at that point you can redo it to full size. It's... The port itself has a lot of technical issues too, which is another thing I didn't enjoy about it. This is just kind of shows the story. I've been shrunk down, so Izun is actually looks like he's normal size. And then Izun doesn't want to help him until she sees your face. And then now he wants to help her. That's such a cute... That's sort of like a chauvinist humor that you just don't see anymore, which is... It's good to see. It's good to see. So it's heartwarming in that sense, but there's just so many other things about it that I just don't like. So unfortunately, it was $5 though. I got it for $5. Okami 2 was announced. So like, why not just check it out? But this is a game I feel like if I had played it when I was younger and I didn't care about whether, how long the stuff, like worrying about how long these tech sequences take isn't something I would normally worry about. I'm like, all right, yeah, I just settle in and play this game for 40 hours. Who cares? I'll walk around and explore everything. Like, that's fun. Why not? But nowadays, I just can't do it. I just cannot get into it. So while I've enjoyed some parts of Okami like this, overall, I just don't. It's too boring for me. It's too easy and too boring. Even like comparing it to Legend of Zelda. Legend of Zelda, especially Tears of the Kingdom, was far harder, had far more combat. This is like just mostly exploration and little puzzles. That's it. There's very few things in it to like really challenge you at all. It's unfortunate. And maybe in the sequel, they'll step it up. I don't know, but I can't. I'm not very excited for the sequel. I'll definitely wait on that to see what it's like. But it's one of the issues with growing older. I can't stand stuff wasting my time. And then, unfortunately, too much of this is, I feel like is wasting my time. And I almost feel bad saying that it's wasting my time because maybe the point isn't to give a shit like how long it takes, just to really like get into it and enjoy it. Almost making it just entertainment. It's maybe it does take longer, but maybe that's the point where you don't necessarily, like Animal Crossing, you don't necessarily care how long of a time it takes. You're just supposed to get in. It's soft music. You just enjoy the experience. But unfortunately, I cannot with Okami. But that is my game of the week. I haven't beat it yet, but I'm going to. I think I'm getting close. At least I hope I'm getting close. Like I said, I'm like 24 hours into it, so I want it to be done. I'm choosing to waste my time on this podcast. Effort matters, absolutely. You need to. You could also do other stuff while you listen to it, which is good. But let's move on. Let's get to the news. I have no idea what that means, Benson. BF will follow through with the Tiana. Whatever. I won't be able to play it when I'm mostly playing Wilds. Wilds was enjoyable. I really enjoy Monster Hunter Wilds. It's way too slow to be going through that game. Though even Wilds pissed me off with how long the story sequence at the beginning took. I thought the story was very slow paced, and the fact that it just took so long to really like get into the normal flow of doing missions and unlocking stuff. Once you hit HR, it was much better. But the first like pacing of Wilds was a bit of an annoyance to me. So Polygon, yes, it is a gaming channel. I have a feeling that's Billy. Let's see, made 6 days ago. See you later. All right. Polygon sold to ValveNet and hit with massive layoffs. Game journalists blown the fuck out. Video game website Polygon has sold to click farm powerhouse ValveNet, and much to its masthead has been laid off. Kotaku has learned the sale was subsequently announced in a press release. Multiple staff members posted online about losing their jobs or about their colleagues now being out of work. Oh no. I'm no longer with Polygon. If you're hiring someone, please consider many talented writers and editors here. Polygon co-founder Chris Plante, maybe? Every one of them deserves a spot on your staff. I won't be talking more about the sale because I wasn't involved. Go hang out with my kid, taking wins where I can. And then, man, people are always like, oh, you shouldn't be upset about people losing their job. But you know what? You shouldn't be happy. Why be cruel? And I just want to prepare some of the people that lost their job today, just to show you what they've been doing. So I'm glad that these people are been laid off. So this is Nicole Carpenter. Was laid off. I'm looking for work. I'm a really good reporter. Oh no, poor Nicole. Let's see what she's doing. Oh, let's see. Here's one of her thing. It's harder than ever for game companies to get funding, and even worse, for studios led by marginalized devs. Oh no. Even in peak 2021, $8 billion of VC funding went to 23 companies led by men, while $1.2 million went to 5 companies led by women. Again, just a bunch of DEI bullshit. Oh, we need to get women more money. We need less men getting funding, essentially. And then, of course, again, how long until companies start rolling back these sort of important programs? Maybe it's happening. If you have something or thoughts, let's talk for a potential story. I'm on Signal, and this is talking about Meta ending its major DEI programs across the company. These people are just basic. They're just leftists. They're advocating for leftist policies. They're advocating for sort of anti-male, anti-white policies all the time. There's another guy, Jeff Grubb at Giant Bomb, is out of a job today. This is Grum's pointing this out. Games journalists taking hits. They created the cultural wars of gaming. We fought back. They lost. Of course, Grum's always puts it in a weird way. But, as much as I might dislike Grum's, let's see. Let's talk about Jeff Grubb here. Let's see. What has been Jeff Grubb's been talking about? If you could tell me to my face that you hate me because I'm white and that you hate all white people, and for the life of me, I would struggle forever to understand how that would hurt me in any material way. This is the kind of people that are out of a job. And then you have Daniel. Oh, you even have Daniel Ahmed over here. I never say this to you. You're one of the good ones. Oh, laugh out loud. It's a joke because, he's Chinese and a huge commie. But, you're one of the good white people. Just, again, anti-white. These people hate, I'm sure if I searched Jeff Grubb's thing for Nazi, I think it'd show up. Like I'm a millionlessly Nazi. Let's see if we got results here. I really like the main Nazi of Indiana Jones saying it's the game plan that Nazis are using on this platform today. Oh no. Get this Nazi a milkshake. I'm sorry for putting this on the timeline, but I can't help it. Wolfenstein 2 literally gets the perfect Aryan white body. Again, just always. Okay, 2 minutes scrolling. This sounds like a thing a Nazi would say. Just leftist garbage. I would take 1,000 Grums over one Jeff Grubb. I'm so glad these people are losing their jobs. I hope they never get a platform again to ever espouse any of their ideas, because it's just awful, awful, complete crap. Oh, here is it. You talk about let's see. I'm never alone with another woman. Ninja spoke on his relationship with why he never DMs anyone outside of his boys. And then Jeff Grubb's not happy about this. So you can't have a doctor, lawyer, or any other sensitive professional in your life who is a woman? Your casual sexism has really financial consequences for women. What a loser. Yeah, I would rather have my doctor be a man, actually. I think that'd be more comfortable as a man to have a doctor that's a male. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I want male professionals? Oh, no. He's being casually sexist because he doesn't want to get me too'd. Wow. This actually seems really smart for Ninja as a guy that's making a ton of fucking money. Where he doesn't want women trying to blackmail him. Wow. And of course, Jeff Grubb, again, that's what all these journalists do. Like, let's fight against men in the industry. Let's fight against white people. Let's call right-wingers Nazis. That's what they do. They're leftist first, video game journalist second. And of course, but I mean, moving on from this, I'm glad. The point is, I'm just really glad these people are losing their job. I think a lot of this is going to turn into like guides. They're just not providing anything of value. There's any like opinion piece they give is going to be, again, through this sort of like DEI type of lens where what about women? What about women in video games? What about white people? What about marginalized groups? Like, are there too many white people? Is Ninja being sexist? This is the stuff they worry about. I'd much rather have people, and just video journalists have failed to like do anything positive for gaming in terms of moving it towards like talks on actual gameplay. It's just they're like sycophants for popular media. Essentially, is what it seems like. They're not tastemakers. They're not sort of moving the audiences into like a deeper understanding of the genre. It's just not. There's nothing of value. In fact, it's worse than that. They are actively hurting culture, in my opinion. I'd say 100% they're hurting culture by sowing division and hatred for the main audience of video games, which is white men in the West. So good to see them lose their job, but the Respawn Entertainment, who made games like Apex Legends, Jedi Fallen Order, they have like games like this. They're also downsizing. Apparently 300 to 400, and this is their usual like way too long journal. We're firing a bunch of people to focus on making our games better. We have to fire a lot of people. But apparently 300 to 400 people laid off per Bloomberg. So that's happening. So more layoffs still going on in the industry. And interesting enough, let's Claire Obscura Expedition 33, which has sold 1 million copies. 3 days after launch, 1 million copies sold. It's doing incredibly well. Made by an incredibly small studio of apparently have like 33 normal full-time staff. And I think there might have been some temp workers involved. But even the French president, Macron, congratulates Expedition 33 developer for creating one of the best rated games in history. And like smaller countries like France, they like to brag. When something French does well, they like to brag about it. So that's pretty cool to see the French president talking about Expedition 33. And this was, like I said, made by like 33 people. Very small studio. I think it's a lower priced game too. So you're not paying out the ass for it. Let's see, what's the price here? Let me see what the price. I'm not interested in, like I said, it's an RPG, so I'm not interested in playing it. But yeah, let's see. Let me go to Steam and see how much it costs. Yes, view page. Apparently it has mature. Let's see, how much does it cost? $50. With Steam keys, you can probably get it for less. So it's only a $50 game. So that's, I mean, still an amount, still expensive, but not really too bad for like a discounted game. So they saved money, made a really good game, saved money by not having a giant staff where they have to lay off 400 people, 300 to 400 people. That is funny that basically Respawn just laid off like what percentage of the people that made this game? It was 33, so like 10 times, over 10 times the amount of people that took to make this million-selling RPG game. That's pretty impressive by Sandfall Games to do that. And people will lament. It's always bad when people lose their job, I guess, unless they're journalists, left-wing journalists. Then it's always good that they lose their jobs, but. I mean, is it necessary? Is this part of making games better? Is smaller teams like this? I think so. The fact that these giant, bloated projects just reduce the sort of artistic integrity of these games. If you make a smaller team with a dedicated vision, then it just ends up better. Hey, John Watts, good to see you. Behold my membership. Gifted by Mish. Looking good with that badge. Looking good. Oh, good to see you, Anon. Bring out the AI. Yeah. Maybe that's what you need to do. Oh, this was a great story. This was a fun story. So everyone complained about Nintendo increasing prices. And well, with all that chatter, it's given Xbox the cover they needed. And now they're increasing the price of their games. So the Xbox Series S went from $300 to almost $400. That's insane. They're increasing the price of their console. They're increasing the price of their games. Some first-party Xbox game will also be going up to $80 this year. The hardware is increasing. And, this is also tariffs. So that's a thing. But to increase the price this much seems crazy. I mean, is Xbox really selling it all? Is there so much demand for the Xbox right now? I don't know. Maybe they just don't give a shit at this point. I don't know. I've never wanted to buy an Xbox. I never where's the exclusive that I need the Xbox for? But I think at this point it's like a niche product for them. They're almost sort of yeah, I said the tariffs don't impact them doing this globally. That's true. So, why would they increase it? I guess this does say U.S. pricing changes, but they probably will end up doing it globally. Because why not? If you can get away with doing it in one market, on the biggest market, why not do it in all of them? So maybe they're just trying to get more money, and maybe they are really worried that tariffs could go down or up. So anytime there's some sort of instability, their go-to solution is just increase the price. But yeah, I don't understand what they're doing here. This seems insane, especially for a console that's this old. But hey, do what you got to do, Xbox. I think at this point they're just focusing on PC, and Xbox is just a way for people that don't want a PC, want something easier. They can have, they can buy an Xbox. I don't know. I don't know how long Xbox is going to last. I could kind of see it still going. I just don't know if Xbox is going to be a major competitor in the console market anymore. It seems like they're kind of getting away from that. But at the same time, when you own Windows, and PC is so strong, essentially, you're still in the game by a lot. So, yeah, it sucks for anyone that wants to buy one this Christmas, I guess. Well, good luck with that, Microsoft. Well, here's some good news, some fun news. Warhammer 40. So modders have created a 12-player co-op with the developer's blessing, and now they're working on raid-style missions with bosses that hit like trucks. So this was cool. you can only play with 3 people in the original game. But I guess modders have figured out a way, and I don't know how, because I feel like, how does the game handle all these people in it? Like, it seems like that would be pretty strenuous on the hardware, but maybe if you have a really good system on PC, you can do it. But I mean, looking at this, this is from Chapter Master Valrax here.
Then you can go and support him as well. Now, one of the biggest criticisms.
I mean, just looking at this, like, it looks crazy, and right now, none of the maps are balanced for this amount of people, so they're just going to be incredibly piss easy. Which also, like, in terms of performance, like, how do you increase the number of enemies? I don't know if you can, increase the number of enemies to, 4 times. You can't 4x the enemies. Like, you can 4x your player count. So you just make them hit a lot harder. Do you make them a lot, bigger? And it's kind of hard. And maybe in some ways it kind of ruins the matron of Space Marines, because like 3 Space Marines should be like an equivalent to like an army. I don't know if it's tabletop accurate for 3 Marines just to annihilate Hermagants like they're cardboard, but that for 3 Marines just to go the power fantasy of 3 Marines just being like this can go through like waves and waves of it's Tyranids. I've been watching fucking StarCraft, so it's like, they're not Zerg, they're not Terminids from Helldivers 2, they're Tyranids. So like they're going through like waves of Tyranids or like Chaos Soldiers. Like, do you make the Chaos Soldiers stronger than a single Marine? That seems kind of lame, but hey, if it gets a lot of people involved.
Space Marine 2 was the player limit. I was always asking the developers during production and stuff, are we going to get more players in the game?
No, he wants more players, and you just have, I don't think any of the powers are going to be balanced at all, but just to go in and have fun, have like, if you have 4 people that own the game, 4 or 5 people, it sucks like just like, oh, we got 3 people, sorry man, you can't play. That kind of sucks. Yeah, I could definitely see it being a memory issue. I don't think it has a complex situation. It's probably more of a rendering issue on the game's end. And then, like, obviously, game balance, too. It's going to throw off when you have just so many powers, so many Marines. And like I said, the issue with how do you balance... I guess, it might hurt the fantasy a bit if you have to balance enemies to fight, just a horde of Marines and make them harder. But you never know. Maybe just added new enemies, or new harder enemies. We'll see how it goes, but this has potential. It has potential to be a very cool mod in the future. I always enjoy seeing stuff like this. Just the visual right here of just tons of Marines out here. It'd almost be cooler if they could get them all in the same colors, but we'll see if that. I'm sure someone will do that. Like these poor little guys have no chance. They're outnumbered and outgunned. Another interesting story, Reddit admits purging mods of Horus Galaxy just to justify banning a subreddit for being unmodded. To Reddit just being Reddit again. Maybe I should have like a section called Reddit Moment. Like it's the Reddit Moment of the week where they just ban people. They purge all the mods and then ban it for being unmodded. Reddit going continuing to be a leftist hellhole. No surprise. Of course, I've already covered this. And I mean, honestly, is anyone shocked that that this is a thing? Grand Theft Auto 6 delayed to 2026. I don't think anyone was that surprised to be delayed. FPS are simple simulations, something like a Dark Souls game is a complex simulation. I guess so. I'd have to think about that. Basically, Rock. I mean, this is goes about it's supposed to come out in fall 2025. So it's but delayed again. Like I said, I'm not I wasn't particularly looking forward to this Grand Theft Auto. I just think it's been done so much at this point. What's new and exciting with it? I guess if you're just looking for the newest iteration, then hey, it's something for you to play. I know people are always super excited as far as what they want to charge for the game. Will this be the first $100 game? I don't know, but with Nintendo bumping up to $80 and Xbox bumping up to $80, I think at this point we're going to see it's going to at least be $80. So we'll see. They may delay GT until the next gen consoles. Could be a thing, yeah. If they wanted to push it even further, rather than just rely on PC. I don't know. I don't know why they. Well, I guess maybe they're still working on it. Is why they need to delay it. But really, them delaying the game. I think they did it with GTA 5. It's not a surprise. What's the next story? Ooh, this is exciting. This is exciting, guys. Hollow Knight Silk Song will be playable at a Musana exhibit in Australia on September 18th. It is confirmed to spoil some of Silk Song's boss fights, leading to speculation that the game will come out before the exhibit. Will it? Will we have Silk Song Summer? Is that a thing? Of course, I'm very much looking forward to this game. I really enjoyed the first Hollow Knight. And of course, it's kind of become a meme at this point. It's been delayed so much. But the fact that it's been going to be playable September 18th in Australia, assuming nothing happens, does that mean it's coming out before September 18th? I think so. I'm holding out for maybe August, sometime in August. We're going to get Hollow Knight Silk Song. Or this is going to be a demo for it, and we're going to get it sometime later in November, or maybe it will release September. Who knows? But I'm hoping Silk Song Summer. Let's make it happen, Team Cherry. Make it happen. Of course, at this point, they've really been very tight-lipped about it. So I don't know what's going on. I haven't really seen a ton of it, which kind of makes me a little worried. Is there a reason why they're not? I don't know. I just don't know. But I'm holding out. I'm holding out hope. I called it back in the beginning of the year. That Silk Song coming out this year. And it looks like I'm right. But, as the old 40K saying, hope is the first step on the road to disappointment. So I could be wrong. We'll see. This is something that's been rumored again. And Dragon Quest Raider says Chrono update is happening. Update false. So originally, one of the creators, Yuji Horii, who shared information at a Comic-Con in Naples, Italy. We do have confirmation that Horii was present for the event and had delivered some talk based on various attendee reports. Regarding Chrono Trigger, apparently let the information slip during an interview. After the host whispered something in his ear, Horii covered his mouth, indicating he had said something he wasn't supposed to. Chrono Trigger is one of the most acclaimed RPGs of all time. The game originally launched on NES 1995, blah, blah, blah. But there was an update. Slowly after, while Horii was in attendance at the event, it appears his words were misinterpreted and mistranslated, funnily enough, by his own translator. So a Chrono Trigger remake is not confirmed. The latest update is based directly on footage from his appearance at Comic-Con. Thanks to Brian for the tips. So it looks like it isn't confirmed that they're making it, but I could definitely see them making a game like this. I don't know. I'm not. It's a game. Chrono Trigger is such, in my opinion, the best RPG of all time. I think better than, a pure RPG. My favorite. I think it was the absolute pinnacle of the SNES RPGs, which were my favorite RPGs. So when we talk about remaking it, it's almost like, could they make anything that I think is worthy of its legacy? And I doubt it. I think the safest bet would be doing something like some of them aren't with us anymore, really, some of the makers of it. Yeah, I mean that makes it hard unless you're getting the original team together. That's a hard thing to do. I know Enix, they've been doing the Dragon Quest, 3D HD 3D 2D remixes or whatever you call them. I think that would be the safest bet to do a Chrono Trigger remake. I don't know if that'd be ideal, but I mean, to get the combat system to work, you still need to have it be in 2D. So if you did like a remake, would you do that? Would you actually have like the top down, 2D combat turn based, active battle system? Do you go with something completely different? I think at that point it'd be a different game, which I really don't want. Ideally, man, I don't even know if I want like 3D as the background too. Because I mean, those backgrounds, those pixel-based backgrounds, are so good. I just don't see it how you do it outside of like a complete like Dragon Ball. That's the thing. You never have the budget to like really remake it properly. Because I mean, it would be like a $200 million game, like something like equivalent to Final Fantasy remake, and I just don't think that that's going to sell as well. Like Chrono Trigger sold like 5 million copies like back in the day, which was extremely good in the SNES era, but I just don't see it being enough. And the remake, that style is awful. Would be I just don't see the 3D. I just don't see. I mean, the 3D wouldn't work. You'd need something like cell shaded, like they do with like a DBZ game and kind of stuff. I mean, Akira Toriyama obviously is gone. That his designs kind of still remain. To get something in that style, in like a 3 dimensions, maybe it could work. I just don't have hope for it. I really don't, unfortunately. I want to be pumped for it. I'm just gonna see something. It's gonna be like censored for the West. Like Aya's gonna have like her outfit censored or something. I'm just gonna be like, good lord. I just don't see it. And of course, getting a thing I always like is the music. Yeah, no voice acting. Yeah, I could definitely see voice acting hurting it as well. Or like I said before when I did the review for Chrono Trigger, the fact that it was only 20 hours, because like each scene goes really quickly because there's no voice acting, there's no cut sequences, and I could definitely see like this voice acting sequences being added in because people like the content, and I'm not going to blame them for it, but it's going to add like double the length of time to the game unless you just want to skip through it. Yeah, I really hate the fact that silent protagonists are going away. It pisses me off because I think it's a really important part of video games. I think it's one of the unique things about video games now is the silent protagonist. It's sort of like an avatar for the player. But yeah, it had great pacing for an RPG. It's just quick. It's to the point. And I don't see that happening in a remake. I think you give... One of the downsides of artists is if you give them too much, they're going to want to do everything. And the fact that the SNES had a bunch of limitations, I think, helped them because they couldn't do everything. They couldn't make a gigantic world with just like little things spotted on. They can't do the the cut sequences and the videos. A lot of these like producers, video game producers, also like wanted to be film producers, and they go a little too far in their sort of flights of fancy. Which for artists, I can't blame them because I guess that's sort of spirit of the artist. But yeah, they need someone to like rein them in a little bit. But that's it. That's it for the. That's all I got for you guys. That's it for the coverage, and I hope you enjoyed it. We've reached 700 subs, so be sure to like, subscribe. I really appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Like very thanks to Sasano, Ala Richard, for the super chat. Always appreciate the support. Helps me going. Hey, good to see you, Silver Bishop. Popping in right at the end. Yep, good to see all you guys. Thank you very much. Let me see. I don't know who's doing post zero. Or are we doing it? I don't know. So I guess check out Jack's channel. Like I said, I don't see a link for it or any of that stuff, so I don't know who's what's up with it, whether it's canceled or not. But I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll talk to you later, guys. Bye bye.